Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to episode number 106 of the Unknown Games podcast, a show where we talk about video games every week, 106 weeks straight, almost, only missing probably about 3 episodes on that consecutive dartboard. And by we, I mean myself, Adrian, and my co host, Alex. What's up, man?
Yeah, what up, dude?
Did you re-roll your name yet? You still game
You
duck?
mean like a new generator? No, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I should do that, yeah. Let me
I need to,
like what's like random name or random nickname generator or whatever.
I don't know where you went the first
yeah, I
time.
can't remember. It was
You
a
just got
while,
it.
yeah.
You just got it.
It was a while.
Um,
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
we'll keep that'll be like the homework. We'll keep you as a game duck for now. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us and on YouTube. If you're listening or watching, however you like to say. I mean, some people are like, "Hey, I listen to things on YouTube," or "You watch things on YouTube." You can be doing both right now. But yeah, if you're doing that, thanks for following. And if you got anyone you want to tell about the show, go ahead, let them know. Tell them to follow the Unknown Games Podcast YouTube channel. Leave us those wonderful likes and subscribe because we put some stuff up on this channel.
From now on, you can call me either Fat Digger or
Whoa.
Limp Guardian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
I'm just looking at a bunch of like I just did like a random thing. Yeah, Fat Digger is pretty funny. Also, yeah, Limp Guardian is hilarious, but also Idle Grandma is showing up here as well. So,
what was the limp one again?
Limp Guardian.
I can't tell if I'm insulting you or like referencing you as like
Yeah,
a
I
limp
don't
biscuit.
know. Idle Grandma's kind of
like,
funny too. Yeah.
Do you want to be the idle grandma?
There's also Guilty Digger. That sounds pretty cool though for some reason. Guilty Digger. I like that one.
What a
The
slip
Guilty Digger.
up. Oh gosh.
Hasty Ghost. Giant Doctor is just no. That's just an adjective for a doctor. Boring
Big-
Sun. Like, what is this list even? Anyways,
Somebody's got these lists. We'll figure it out because I'm still the failure chicken.
Sure.
But yeah. So this week we've got a pretty good show for you. I was asking Alex earlier today. I was like, man, what do you want to talk about? I didn't know what was. I remembered that.
Yeah.
The God of War PC thing dropped. I think it was like last Thursday or Friday or something.
I was like
the
streaming or
announcement.
something, yeah, at the time, and then someone comes in and is like God of War on PC, and I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. I think I had just finished playing not Code Vein, but God Eater 3. I jumped into it for a little bit.
Oh, you were playing really?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah. I think
sweet.
I was like, well, God, whoa, what? And I saw it on Twitter, and it was just like, okay, we got some heavy stuff is about to happen. So we'll definitely be talking about that. And speaking of Twitter, you can go ahead and follow the podcast on Twitter at UGP_cast. You can also follow us on Twitch, which is up on the screen now. I'm at Ninja Tricks, and my co-host is at Root24. We stream pretty much every day between each one of us. So just find a day.
Yeah, and like
turn
one
on
of us will be
Twitch.
live. Yeah, just follow both of us, I guess.
Yeah, we keep it real. We keep it straight. What are you playing next? I mean, you've been playing a lot of Pressure Wash.
I've been doing a lot of Power Wash Simulator because they added a bunch of new content, so I've been like going through that. I'm streaming tomorrow actually. I don't even know what I'm going to stream tomorrow, but probably I want to try doing Phasmophobia, and Thursday I'm going to do some. I'll try to find a spooky game.
Yo, that nightmare. That nightmare difficulty is about to drop. I think it drops today or tomorrow. It's like the 25th, I think. So
Nightmare for what?
for Phasmophobia, that's like
I haven't heard about that. Are they adding a new difficulty? Like
they're adding
beyond professional, you mean?
Yep, nightmare difficulty. I think it comes with a couple more ghosts. It comes with a campsite as well, so you can explore horribly scary campsite while you get hunted by a ghost. Oh gosh.
Oh, that sounds sweet. No, that sounds exciting. Yeah.
Hey, they're definitely taking advantage of the new resources that they're getting. I think the developer used to be just like a dude in the UK. Now he's like, hey, I got a studio.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, he's making it good for us all.
Well, that's sweet. Actually, that sounds pretty exciting. Yeah, guess I'll check that out then. Yeah.
That's gonna be hype. I mean, you deserve a break after
Dragon Quest for like the whole year.
Yeah. There you go. I'm playing Resident Evil 7. If anyone wants to follow the stream, it's been yo. I didn't realize how awesome RE7 was. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect to go in and just be blown like I am. Like it's been amazing.
You're playing not in VR, right?
Not yeah. It's unfortunately PC doesn't have
Oh, is that a PlayStation exclusive?
It is a PlayStation exclusive
That's
feature.
hilarious. Yeah. All right. Well done.
Yeah, so that's what's happening on that front. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. God of War on the PC. I think it's one of those games that uh, for the longest time, I think a lot of people were like, "Hey, you can let go of Horizon Zero Dawn, right? You can let go of something like an Infamous. Some of these games that you're like, okay, these are tentpole titles for Sony, but it doesn't matter if they come to PC as much. But like God of War, Uncharted, like, nah, they wouldn't give that up. They never do that. Those are
Yeah.
those are like, nah, it ain't ever happening. And then lo and behold, like we were saying, just dropped. I mean, the crazy thing, this wasn't on a Sony like direct kind of thing. It
Oh yeah,
wasn't on
just
a
like a
show.
trailer. Yeah, it was just like, hey, what's up?
They just dropped it,
Yeah,
and
God of War on PC, and then the Steam page went up like immediately.
yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
And because they announced Uncharted was coming to PC, I think with their last
Oh yeah. Yep.
direct, or I forgot, what Sony showcase or
Yep.
whatever, and that's coming, I believe, in February or
It's like early 2022.
early
Something like that,
2022 or
yeah.
something like that. So it was just like, oh, excuse me, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, so for you, I guess we'll get like some initial reactions. I'm gonna put the trailer up on the screen right now.
The trailer, but it's just the PlayStation 4 trailer.
It's
So like you never
is it
you've
is
seen it
it
before.
you've seen it before. It's like
Yeah.
you've seen it before, but
Yeah.
now see it again.
And it
All
says at the bottom, it's
HD.
like it's on the bottom. It's like footage captured on a PlayStation 4. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so this is just the PlayStation 4 trailer. Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it says captured on PC at 4K 60
Oh,
FPS.
does it?
Yeah,
It says
yeah,
captured on PC. Oh, okay.
yeah. Mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics, so they've
Not
got
that
it.
it like. I mean, it's God of War.
But it's the same game from.
Yeah.
I believe 2018 is when it
Is
came
when it came
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. First
I
of
mean,
all,
it looks
did
good.
you
It
play
looks-
God of War when it came?
I
mean, did
haven't
you play
played.
it?
No, I haven't played it.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh,
So-
you gotta play it. You gotta play it. I mean,
Well,
now it's perfect.
now
time.
that it's on PC. Sure, I guess I can check it out.
But
I mean, like I have a PlayStation 4. Obviously, I could play it now.
you
Actually,
could, yeah, you could play it now. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like the game runs not that bad. It actually runs pretty well. It's one of those things where Sony had like there's no loading when you're going from world to world. It's pretty seamlessly streaming the game, and it's just like, hey, everything's pretty good the way it is. And of course, the PS5 ups some things, adds the 60 FPS, I believe.
Oh, it was
and
30 on a PS4.
I believe it's actually 60, but it might drop in some cases.
Oh, is that stable then on a PS5?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's for the most part stable, but this is like uncapped, glorious. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
just looking at the trailer, I get all
Yeah.
excited.
There should be an asterisk here though. It's like uncapped on a PC, but obviously your actual performance varies on your PC.
On your PC, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Like, hey, don't just be like, hey, I'm gonna put this on max. You
Like a
start getting
Microsoft
like
Surface or something. Like yeah.
you
But,
get that 1 frame a second. What's wrong? They
Yeah.
promised me.
I mean, I mean, I wonder. I wonder if there's anyone who's seeing all these games come to PC now and either assume that they run better just because they're on PC or they run worse because they're on PC, not realizing obviously that your hardware is the key point here, right? So
I can't imagine. I mean, like, I feel like these do target people who have the PCs to play it, right? I would imagine that no one who has a PC is holding out like, oh,
yeah, I think
like,
here's the thing, and obviously, I mean, this is related in a sense, and I mean, if you have a PC but you know that your PC isn't quite capable of playing video games, you probably own a console, right? And
right.
that's-
You probably
That's
you
why
probably should have
that's-
it.
Yeah, that's why you would buy a PS5 because you're like, I don't want to upgrade my PC. Part of it, I mean, people play on console for many reasons, right?
Right,
And part of it, I mean, some people are like, I don't want to upgrade my PC. I don't want to go through the trouble of building a PC or buying a gaming PC. Or there's that, but there's also the people that are just like, oh, I just don't want to play games on my PC, and I want to play on in the living room or something like that, right?
right. And I mean, we've seen Steam kind of add that kind of the couch gaming feature. There's a couple features like
Steam is trying to
stream-
make. Yeah, there's been throughout the years. There's been several efforts from Steam and other companies to try to make couch PC gaming more viable and more inviting
right.
and that kind of thing. That being said, well, I don't do it just because I live in a Japanese apartment. There's no real difference
There's no
between
real reason to.
my couch and my computer desk, anyways. But for the people who do live in larger homes, surely, yeah, maybe if you're more comfortable on a couch or something like that, right?
Right, right. Uh, but yeah, so this is coming out on January
That's
14th,
very soon, yeah.
2022. So really
Sure.
soon dropping. And along with it, of course, you actually sent me a page of like, so what actually is kind of, what does this entail, right? Like what all is involved in this?
Oh, in
And
the PC port, like what's
in the
new?
PC port, yeah, there's
Yep.
a ton of stuff. You sent me a link to the NVIDIA GeForce page because I believe it's going to have NVIDIA DLSS and
Yeah, which
Reflex,
is sick, by the way. That's awesome.
which those two features, like honestly, I think I talked about when we were talking about Naraka Blade Point. That is a game that when you turn those features on, it still looks good. And I'm talking about
Yeah.
low, like it makes things that shouldn't look as good as they should be, like just
DLSS
keeps it at
is
point.
fucking like witchcraft, really. You know?
It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. So it's gonna have both of those things on it if you're running a any type of GeForce RTX GPU,
Right.
and of course 4K graphics come in here. 4K graphics will of course like that's going to be a thing, but there's also widescreen support.
Ultra wide, you mean?
Ultra wide. Sorry, ultra wide.
Yep.
Yeah, there's ultra wide support. Of course, you'll be able to do things with the frame rate. It's a good thing that Sony Santa Monica Studio. They're also like I feel like they're making sure that they kind of take this port really seriously because, like I said, this is one of the biggest Sony games.
Yeah, it would be kind of shitty for them to do a PC port, and the PC port like sucks. You right? You know what I mean? So
Right, right, and I
yeah.
feel like they kind of addressed that with Days Gone. I don't remember Days Gone having too many issues like Horizon
Oh, like
Zero
Horizon
Dawn
did.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, overall, in the end of the day, was they fixed it relatively quickly.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, these games cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make, and this is one of those huge ones. But I mean, so what is this right here? I'm not really the best at PC terminology. So we have high resolution shadows, which is self-explanatory, but
Sure.
improved screen space, reflections, and enhanced ground truth ambient occlusion.
Um, that's those are like lighting, I guess. Those are lighting effects. It's the way that like how objects reflect light, and like how 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 voluminous that light is. Like,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Okay.
if that
Okay.
makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all these things. I guess here's the thing. Like, it just helps it become the best definitive version of this game to play to help you like if you want to be drawn into this world. It's like you were saying, 21 by 9 panoramic ultra wide
It's pretty
screen.
sick. This
Like,
game is I don't
holy
own.
moly.
I used to own an ultra wide monitor, but then I sold it in favor of a 4K monitor. So ultra wide, for anyone who doesn't know, is usually referring to a 21 by 9 ratio. So if you look at your screen right now, you're probably if you're on a computer, that's a 16 by 9 ratio, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're on a phone, it could be 16 by 10 or whatever. If you're on a tablet, that's probably 4 by 3. But like a TV or a computer monitor, that's usually going to be 16 by 9. 21 by 9 is just the same height, but just like it's wider. It's like 1.5 of your monitors, right? Just stretched out.
Just and you want to talk about
Yeah.
it's immersive. I don't even know how to say it because like I said, this was a beautiful game, and one of the things about God of War, and I think that this plays into it even better, is because God of War always had these set pieces. Kratos would always walk into a place, and the camera always pans up, then or pans out.
Yeah.
And I mean, revealing the entire setting. So, like, seeing something like that on an ultra wide HDR 4K. I mean, if you got HDR and 4K on a wide, if you got that,
that's gonna look sick for sure.
you're on some craziness. But
There's definitely an asterisk to that statement, though. The PC port will obviously support a high frame rate and 4K and 21:9 and like all these amazing features, right?
right.
That's obviously dependent on you owning a monitor that is
Yeah,
all of
it's
that.
like because you can have a
Yeah.
monitor, it ain't got no HDR. You ain't getting that
Yeah, you're
HDR. You're not
not.
gonna
Yeah,
magically
you.
reap HDR benefits.
Yeah, you can't be playing this game on like a 1080p monitor in SDR and be like, wow. I mean, it'll look
It'll
good,
still
but
look good. It'll still look
it's not
good.
gonna look like it's obviously not gonna be 4K ultra wide, right?
The
It's just
gravy isn't gonna be
yeah,
dripping off of it. You ain't gonna be just oh
yeah.
man. But what's interesting, I think this might be one of the first PlayStation 5 games on PC to officially support DualSense.
Is it a PS5 game? I thought it was a
Oh,
PS4
sorry,
game.
PS4 game. Sorry, PS4
Yeah,
game with
yeah.
DualSense kind of support. Also, of course, the DualSense DualShock 4 you'll be able to use. But I don't know if they're gonna like tune it to be like, hey, these special features with the DualSense with the
Oh,
adaptive.
the haptic triggers or whatever they
Yeah,
are.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping it is because you do get there's some good moments. This game just has such a good combat, such good story. It's like when it comes out, I really would like to see you stream this, man. I
Like
don't
God of
know.
War.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like your cup of tea, but it's just oh man, it's like they took the Souls formula and just
And like now it's God of War, yeah.
and now it's God of War and it worked and it worked. I think that's kind of the crazy thing right there. Um, but yeah, I think you also sent me a story about how it's leading in terms of like not even 24 hours after it was up for pre-order
It
sales
was
or
like the most pre-ordered game on Steam, yeah.
people want it. People want these high tentpole exclusives, which in contrast to Microsoft's strategy of Game Pass or just let it be everywhere. Do you think that having this sort of demand is good? Like these consoles, because or exclusivities, right? We've
Hmm.
seen like Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 remake. When those come out on PC, if they come out on PC at whenever they come out on PC, would you rather it just be from the beginning, or do you think that it's just something where you're like, it's part of the game now. We got to wait these years to get something on PC at a better value, better deal all around.
I mean, so as someone that primarily prefers to play games on PC, obviously if a game that I want to play, like if F16 or whatever comes out, I want it to be out on my platform of choice day one.
Right, right.
But like for those games that I want like badly enough, I'll buy a console for it. Do you know what I mean?
I had a friend who did it for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, and okay, well, it's good that's trapped on a PS3. So,
Yeah, yeah. But they like when it came out, like they
he
were
bought
hardcore
a PS3.
360. Yeah,
He bought a PS3 for it. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
And I think, by Sony putting out, well, not just Sony, but uh, for Sony to put out these games on PC, like obviously, it's motivated by money. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, really, right?
No, no.
But I wonder, like in their profit projections, if like I would love to see their data to be like, we're gonna do a PC port and we're gonna get like X amount of brand new customers, versus we're gonna get this is the amount of people who actually bought the game on PS4 and are going to buy it again on PC.
That's a good question because I
Yeah.
feel like there's going to be a lot. So looking on the outside in, you feel like there's going to be a lot of people who don't own a console. So primarily PC gamers that are getting this, but you don't think about like, okay, what about the PS4 gamers, or people who skip the PS4, skip the PS5, but now they have a PC that can run all these things, right? Because
Hmm.
I mean, unless you're just really good at winning lottos or getting PlayStation 5s, you ain't got one.
Right, right. Well, I mean, like this is a PS4 game, but you're talking about just consoles in general, right?
Just
For people
consoles in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously Sony's doing it to make money, and I would love to know what their primary um reason for for seemingly their new push for PC ports.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Whether it's because they're like, oh, this game's already done, and a PC port isn't like we know there's this demand for it, and it's gonna cost us this much money to port it. Therefore, like, it's a no-brainer. We're gonna obviously get profit from it, so let's just do it. But Sony does make a console, right?
They do. They do.
So I want to know what their strategy is going forward for these exclusives and to not undermine and to not like devalue their own console.
True. Because like I was listening to another podcast and I kind of forgotten about this, but of course it's driven by profit and the fact that you can't really get PlayStation 5s or the hardware anywhere, and they always, of course, lose money on that hardware. They make it back on the software.
Right.
But if no one's got the hardware to play the software, even because
okay.
I mean, God of War 4 is capped out. Or God of War PS4 that's capped out, right? So this is just additional money. This is just additional gravy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously still costs money to like port it, like it's
right
magic, but yeah, I mean, relatively, it's going to make more money than it's going to cost to port. But I mean, let's say let's say in a perfect world, let's say that every store you walk into, like the shelves are just stocked full of PS5s, right?
Okay.
I'd say everyone who wants to get a PS5 has already purchased one at this point. Do you think Sony would even continue to bother with PC ports, or would they not? Like, would it be a different story if everyone had a PC? PS5, sorry.
That's a good question, because at the launch of PlayStation 5, they tried to make it more enticing. They tried to do a kind of mini, I don't want to say Game Pass, but if you remember, if you have a PlayStation 5 and
they gave you a bunch of games, yeah.
Yeah, this God of War, Uncharted, all of those first party major PlayStation 4 games, they're all on PS5, and I think it's 25 games or something. It's actually
like a bunch, yeah.
It's a bunch of them.
All the good ones, basically.
So everyone would, in theory, then everyone would have this game,
right?
And it has had those patches to make it better for PS5. It's not going to be PC quality, of course, but everyone would have this game,
right?
So in that case, like, I feel like it would be a different discussion. I don't feel like they would. I think they would still be holding it a little bit. I don't feel like it would be on PC.
So we know that Sony actually purchased Bluepoint, right?
Yes.
And they did say that like they purchased Bluepoint with their PC port expertise, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Was it? No, I'm on drugs. It's not Bluepoint. It was Nixus, I think. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was that. It was the one before they announced Bluepoint.
They purchased Nixus though, right? Didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they purchased Nixus. And Nixus does PC ports. They did Deus Ex and those games on PC. Right. I'll say I got confused. I'm sorry. Anyways, my point is that they purchased Nixus, who they've done PC ports in the past, right?
Right.
They said they purchased them to like because of their expertise when it comes to that platform.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying that like no one can buy a PS5, so they want to like make money somehow, we're going to do PC ports. Like, what happens 3 years from now? What happens 5 years from now when presumably the console chips shortage has ended and that's not a problem anymore? Do you think Sony's just going to abandon the PC platform? They're like, oh, we're good. Like, we did God of War, Uncharted, and Horizon. That's fine. Or, is this a new direction for them?
It's kind of hard to say because Game Pass, streaming games, they still have PlayStation Now, right? Which is a service that has 300 something games. You can debate the quality, but it does have their first party quality. Their first party games are on that service for the most part. That's a good question. Does Sony kind of double down into the PlayStation Now side of it and allow you to kind of, like Game Pass, have the streaming service, but also allow you to download it, or play it on PC? Do they just kind of like do that, or
instead of ports? You mean
instead of ports, or do they keep with the port, or do they do both? I feel like they have to do one of those two, because selling the box, while I don't think demand for a PlayStation 6 would be something that people wouldn't get. I think consoles are going to be around for longer than we want to, right? Longer than we expect, just because that's just people. People like physical things, right? But I feel like they're going to have to make a choice, because how we've seen it now, external circumstances will definitely affect whether it's chip shortage or whether it's, the pandemic or whatever. You never know what's going to happen. And this is a surefire thing, hey, we can always port it to PC. We can always do that. We can always have the stream going,
I,
So I feel like
um,
that's the smart decision. I feel like that's a smart decision
to continue to
to
make PC
continue
ports,
making PC ports. Yeah,
so
continue just doing that.
they can sell like software on anything.
On yeah, the thing is they're gonna have to. We've seen with all of these, right? God of War is 4 years out essentially. Horizon was like maybe 3.
3 or something like that. Yeah.
I think all of these are going to be like, hey, we're going to do it, but you're going to have to wait 3 to 4 years. I don't think it's going to be like 1 or 2. It's going to be like, hey, you're going to have to suffer a little bit if you want it. If you really want it, you're going to have to suffer early on to get it.
I think like I was thinking about this as well, and the timing for both Horizon and God of War, and well, not Uncharted, but for those two games, if you obviously are aware that there's a new God of War game coming out, right?
Right, right.
And that's not coming out on PC at day one. That's going to be on PS5 only, right?
Exactly.
So like I think part of this as well is also marketing. Like what if you buy God of War on PC and you're like, oh, this is really, really, really good. I want to play the next one. Um, Basically,
yeah.
yeah, if you like it enough, you'll go buy a PS5, right? And Sony has just sold you a console.
That's a great point. All of these games, like even Horizon,
Right, the next Horizon's
if you
coming
want to
out
play the
on
next
PS5,
Horizon,
yeah.
that's PS5 only. So it does kind of encourage you to be like, I really enjoyed this. Days Gone, they're working
Who
on.
knows what's happening with that, but yeah.
Well, the studio's making a new IP. There's not a sequel that
Yeah.
we know of, but still, if you like that game, you like that studio, and I think maybe that's the bet. Sony's like, hey, you like our first party games, why not play it first on PlayStation
On PlayStation 5,
on our
yeah.
hardware? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Which-
I can see that. There's probably someone who's like, they're gonna buy God of War. They've never owned a console before, right? Let's say they've just never owned one, and they're like, oh, I've heard this game was good. Let's check it out. And then they buy God of War, and they're like, oh, this is really, really good actually. And then they hear all this news about Ragnarok coming out, and they're like, oh, well, maybe I'll buy PS5.
That's true. And honestly, I feel like, yeah, that's part of the secret sauce. That's part of the secret sauce. We'll see all of these games kind of eventually get ported to PC. But to get the latest version, you need to take the step and buy a PlayStation 5, 6, whatever, however long they do this, however. I feel like that's their strat, right? Maybe day and date, it just doesn't seem like something Sony would do, as opposed to, how Microsoft is doing with their...
With all their games.
All
Halo,
their games.
Infinite, yeah, Gears of War, everything's on PC day one.
Which you can argue, it just doesn't build hype. For some people, it might not build hype. Some people, they're like, hey, I can get it there. I can get it here. I can get it there. But there's something about that exclusivity for some people that's like, oh, I'm getting on my PlayStation 5. I feel special.
I mean, I definitely think that people are like that. I mean, you can see this with certain other fandoms. Let's say people who are very passionate about Apple products, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I understand. Like, it's like I bought a PS5. I'm part of the PlayStation family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all play our PlayStations together.
We all play our PlayStations together.
But yeah, I guess I can understand. Like you kind of you purchased your way into a community kind of. So
yeah,
it's like how there's what is it? There's like owners clubs or for cars. I remember my brother-in-law purchased a Subaru Impreza.
There's like a owners club for a Subaru.
And then he
like
joined,
be proud
like,
of your
this,
Subaru.
Yeah, and he joined like this forum on the internet for other Impreza owners. And I'm like, okay, you guys are obviously very happy, very proud of your cars. So like, I guess it's maybe the same thing. Yeah.
It's like yeah, it's a thing.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, what do you? Okay. You play God of War, right, on PS4?
Yeah. I've played all of them.
Are you gonna buy it on PC or no?
I'm really tempted. Like that trailer, I am so tempted.
Yeah,
I really do, like, because it's such a good game. I think that's one of the things to merit too, right? If I had played Horizon on PS4, I don't know if I would have bought it again. That's just not the game I feel like I would go back into. Like something like a Spider-Man, yeah, that's something I might go back into experience again. And God of War, it's on that level. Like, I wouldn't mind going and play it again on a harder difficulty. So yeah, I feel like I could see myself purchasing it again.
If you got on PC, like what benefits would you be seeing as opposed to the PS4 version?
So for me, because I don't have HDR, I'm on that 1080p monitor, and I've been
Right.
looking to upgrade. For me, it's like I want to see. I just want to see it run just crisp,
Like
clean,
silky smooth, like
silky
over,
smooth. Yeah, I
like
just want
definitely
to.
locked 60 frames, right?
Yeah,
You have 144 hertz refresh rate monitor, right?
yeah, yeah,
So you could actually see it hit like 144, like, right?
yeah. I can see that silky smoothness.
And you could, so I guess for you that would be like the main benefit, right?
That's the main benefit. It's just seeing how much better it looks. I feel like there's a part of the audience that's probably going to be like this. Hey, it's fine. You're going to get it again because it's an awesome game. But for the main part, you can't lie. Everyone's going to be looking at, dude, how much better does it run? How much can I feel it being better? You know?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's why I still want to get FF7 on PC because I played it, I beat it on a PS4 Pro, which was, what did I say? It was like it's 30 frames per second locked with a dynamic resolution somewhere between like under 4K, give or take, something like that, right?
Right, right.
So I want to get on PC again to see it locked at, well, ideally the frame rate would be unlocked actually, so it would be this really smooth and higher resolution, up to whatever monitor I can put it on, 4K, right? But
Right, right.
um, so as like a fan of FF7, I want to be like, oh, how good can I get it looking, right?
It, honestly, that's it. You know, it's kind of, and they say it best at the end of the trailer. I thought it was just like I didn't understand the line because I was thinking about the game itself. I wasn't thinking about like what it means in context of the PC port. But you know, Kratos is talking to his son, and he tells him like, we must be better. We
You,
have to
you,
be better. You know.
you're saying you think that refers to the PC
Yeah,
port?
yeah. It's like we must be better. We must
The PC
never
port has to
forget
be
that.
better.
It has
Yeah,
to be better. And there's
it's
something
funny.
about humans, you know. We just like to see everything at the best. You know, you don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I was playing Guilty Gear Strive last night and I was crappy, and I'm
That's fine.
enjoying it. You know, like you want
Well,
to be
maybe just really like, maybe you really like the characters. I don't know, but yeah,
you do, but for the most part, you play to win. Everyone plays to win.
true.
You play to have fun and to win if you're doing it. If you're doing it correct, you're doing both. But if you're just,
Right.
you know, and I feel like this is what God of War PC is. It's playing to win and having fun at the same time. And if you can get the PC port and enjoy all those bells and whistles, go for it. Like,
Do you think? Okay, the question that I'm curious about actually is: do you think this would, in like, not ironically, but would this encourage a PS4 owner to go buy a PC that can run God of War and be like, actually, I want to
ooh,
see God of War run at 60 frames per second, or I want to see God of War run like really well.
you,
Do you
you know,
think? Do you think that's a thing that would be like, oh, I'm gonna go? Yeah, I'll buy a gaming PC, or no? It's
ooh,
like,
that's hard. Ooh, that's hard.
do
That's
you, or do you just think a PS4 owner would be like, oh no, I'm gonna get a PS5?
dude, I mean, because here's the thing, like we're still in that area where, you know, getting a PS5 is difficult, and if you do get one, you might end up paying as much for a gaming PC as you would have get it. So honestly, I could see people, in my honest opinion, I could see people getting a decent, maybe like like a GeForce 2080 or something,
like a mid-range gaming PC. Yeah,
mid-range gaming PC, and set up because monitors don't cost that much, you know, for what
you
you
can get
need
like
for
one for
this.
pretty cheap. Yeah.
I honestly I could see people doing it, and here's the thing: as someone who's kind of living that right now,
Hmm.
and it wasn't for like, you know, PC exclusives or console games coming to it, but after having this taste, it's hard to go buy a PS5, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
no, I know
hard.
what you mean too, because like, and I've said it before, either on the podcast or just in stream, while like to chat, but I do want to get a PS5. Like, it's just someone who likes tech. Like, I like tech. Like, I would, if you gave me an Xbox, I'd be like, oh sweet, thanks, and I'll try to play it. I won't gotta like, I won't sell it or send it back or anything like that, right?
Right, right.
Like, I like tech, and I think I would be pretty pleased if I bought a PS5. I just like, I just want reason. I want more reasons to buy a PS5, and the fact that these games, albeit years later, are coming to PC, like Sony's kind of like, well, not
They're
Sony, but not directly Sony, but like I'm just having less reasons to
Yeah, they're kind of indirectly saying like, if you're
Yeah,
willing to hold on and wait,
yeah,
you'll get it. You'll
yeah.
get it.
It's not
In
just
theory,
Sony.
you'll get it.
Yeah, and it's not just Sony either. Like a lot of these companies are like showing a renewed interest in the PC platform, either renewed or just a brand new interest. Like for example, in the last 2 years, we've seen Sega go pretty hard on PC. We have Yakuza 1 through 7 on PC now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
a lot
Yeah,
of
look,
these
sorry,
Japanese
0 through
developers,
7. Yeah.
0 through 7. We've also
Um.
got the Atlas going hard.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
we
Sega Atlas, but still,
we have
Persona
like
games,
Persona 4, Persona 5 Strikers. We have
Mega 10.
yes, exactly. We have Mega 10 on PC. And Capcom is, there's Rise on PC next year.
I gotta say the RE7 on PC is smooth. Yo, it's so smooth. It's so
Yeah,
good.
no, and
It's
like
so
yeah,
good.
so Capcom's, putting a lot of their games on PC.
Square.
Like even games that aren't like actiony, like they put the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on PC,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I feel like it's one of those things where it was a market that was kind of ignored because it was people thought it was smaller, but I would say everyone's got a PC. Now that asterisk is always there. The
Like
asterisk is
what kind of PC?
what
But
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
PC,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I feel like we're finally moving into a territory where if you got a PC, it's going to be able to run things at a decent, unless you've got like some Chromebook or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're running like a fucking Surface, like an old Surface.
Like an
But
old Surface.
yeah, no, and like I don't know, and what is it? Like Square is putting out like Octopath Traveler is on PC, is also Bravely Default 2 is on,
Two is
like
on
that's
PC.
wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Everything outside of, and I guess we could kind of, there's two things we can kind of pivot off of. One, there's this NVIDIA GeForce database that I believe that you sent.
This leak was like we talked about this like
We talked
couple,
about this
yeah.
a couple weeks, probably like a month ago or something like that.
But the reason why I'm bringing the list up now is because every day this list, as wild as it seems, looks more and more legit, which is actually crazy.
It's looking so like here's the thing. It was like this list had that it could take years for these games to come to PC, but Uncharted Legacy of Thieves edition, hey,
Confirmed.
confirmed. Horizon Forbidden West, of course, not confirmed. Helldivers 2, I don't know why Helldivers 2. That's actually already on PC anyway, so
Yeah, but God of War confirmed, right?
confirmed. Yeah, God of War
Demon's Souls
confirmed.
is heavily rumored, but obviously not confirmed, right?
Returnal seems like now I will say this: House Marquee games for the most part are stuck on console, but there are a couple of their games that are actually on Steam. There's a couple of them. So Returnal, I feel like has a great chance. Ratchet and Clank, with seeing how Insomniac has been going insane, making game after game, I feel like that's coming. Ghost of Tsushima, it's coming.
I would love Ghost of Tsushima on PC. Like when it launched, I was like, that was good. I want to play that. But then I just I didn't pick it up. I think I was playing something else at the time. And then I was like, I'll get to it later. And then by the time I was like, maybe I'll buy it, I was like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll
like,
wait for a better
yeah,
version
I
or
was just
something.
like, oh wait, maybe it'll come on PC, and then yeah, maybe it will. I don't know.
I feel like those are
Yeah.
the ones that really would come out. There's no Last of Us on this list, or Bloodborne, Spider-Man, Last Guardian, Gravity Rush. So like some of those Japan studio games
I know
specifically.
I know you want Bloodborne, right?
Oh, I want that Bloodborne.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, we want that Bloodborne because and here's the thing, kind of segueing into this part of the news. About last week sometime, there was actually some news about Bloodborne port to the PC, which has been honestly that PC port has been in the news for like 2 years.
It's
been wavering around. People are like, Sony, you've remastered, remade, done whatever to every game. Put it on a PlayStation 5. Bloodborne's still running at 30 FPS. You can't even upgrade us officially.
I guess they're gonna do it now, yeah, with the PS5 upgrade and at the same time possibly a PC port.
Yeah.
I think like when the GeForce leak happened initially, I was like, some of this could be real, most of this looks like bullshit. But slowly over time, it's like, oh, that Uncharted rumor, that's real. I'm like, oh my god, and God of War, and it's like, Xbox obviously is starting to put all this stuff on PC as well, so. There's still a couple things on that list that look absolutely bonkers. Titanfall 3 is on that list.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
And from Square, it's that looks the most like bonkers because it's
Kingdom
like
Hearts 4, FF9 remake,
yeah,
FF7
FF9
remake.
remake, Chrono
I
Cross remaster,
honestly
like
I could see because we've so here's the thing, we have that random FF9
anime.
anime.
Yeah,
Why on earth are they doing that if they're not going to follow it up with something? You know what I mean? There has to be something they follow that up with. Even I just feel like a remake for FF9 isn't too far fetched. I would honestly, if they didn't HD FF10 already, I would have called FF10 a remake.
well, they already did. Here's the thing. That's why I thought it was bullshit. Is because they already did an FF9 remaster. It's real.
They
You
did,
can
yeah.
you play
The
it now.
remakes, yeah, yeah.
So like they're gonna do they did a remaster then a remake and Chrono Cross. No, like as I love Chrono Cross. Let's just put that out there. I love Chrono Cross, but I've kind of given up hope at this point. Like it's you know what I mean? Like are they would they
Here's the
redo
thing.
it?
The crazy thing is there's a couple obvious games. There's Kingdom Hearts 4 on this, and we know probably that's coming to PC just because.
And 16 I think is coming to PC because they announced it on PC, but then they like unannounced it the day later.
Right, right.
And I
Similar to
think
how
that's
like
like I think
Monster Hunter Rise
that's Sony being like no, it's ours for a year. You know what I mean? So they
for
oh
a year.
shit. So,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a couple things, because Sony does do that whole thing, like with Keno or anything,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, you can come out on PC the same time as our platform, just not on Xbox kind of thing for a year.
Non-Xbox. Yeah.
But FF Tactics remaster, you can't tell me the people on Octopath Traveler ain't done this. Like,
Oh, that would look good. Yeah, that would hella good. Yeah.
like this is gold. That is freaking gold idea. I don't know what's happening, but they need to get that done.
That would look hella good.
RE4 remake. No,
There was
not
another
again.
thing on that list too that I was like, oh, really? And it turned out to be real, and that was the GTA remasters.
Yes, those are actually happening
So I mean,
pretty
like,
soon too.
is the list real? Is the stupid list real?
I think Ehe was actually on the show when we talked about this. How Nvidia had kind of confirmed the list
But
by
they
not.
confirmed it.
They
I think
confirmed that those games were on a list that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they
Yeah.
confirmed that the list is real, but they didn't confirm the games are
The
real.
games are real. Exactly. And some of these are like when you kind of look at it, like, okay, so GTA 3, the whole collection, San Andreas, Vice City, remasters. When you look at everything that you know, Take Two has kind of done, or Rockstar's done, it would make sense that they would do it. They keep remaking GTA 5 for everything. I mean,
That's fucking true. That's true.
it kind of makes sense
true,
that they might actually do
yeah.
that. But yeah, some of these you're like, yeah, Titanfall 3.
I mean, Titanfall 3 could still happen after
could
they're
still
done
happen.
Apex, maybe. Especially because in Apex, for anyone who doesn't know, they keep like bringing back Titanfall lore. Actually,
which is like, hey, it's a way to get the old players in and also continue the aftermath of what had happened in Titanfall.
I mean, it's
right?
the same universe. They're trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, some of these are like, sure, whatever. Like Tekken 8, obviously, like it was no question that they'll eventually make a Tekken 8. Same with Street Fighter 6, right?
Right.
So some of the list is like, okay,
Kind of no-brainer sequels, right?
it's kind of like being like, I predict the next iPhone is going to be called the iPhone 14. Like, obviously, you know, I mean, just sure.
They could trip you up, go
Yeah.
Roman numerals on you.
Like,
That's it.
yeah,
It's
iPhone.
still 14th.
Yeah, but I mean, some of them are just like, yeah, sure. Some of them's not. So look at Alice SMT5. That's rumored, and I would believe it, especially because they put the Nocturne remaster on PC, right?
Right.
So by them putting P for Persona 4 Golden on PC and the Nocturne remaster on PC, and also P5 Strikers, that was probably them dipping their feet into PC development, seeing how viable it is, seeing that it was viable, and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do SMT5 on PC after it's been on the Switch for a year or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we're seeing is just that the disparity or the gap between, hey, these consoles, who has them, how you can get them, and how they compare to what you can do on not what you can do on a PC, but just how many people have a PC and how comparable that is to some of these. I wouldn't say like, hey, you might not have PlayStation 5 quality, but you might have a PS3 or PS4 quality graphics card in there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
I
worth
think
getting the full market. Why
There's
hold
this-
yourself back?
there's this weird misconception about PC gaming where I think like people are like, oh, you need like this $1,000 GPU to play on PC, or you need like you need to spend 4K USD on a PC to play PC games, and that's not really true. You can run games on PC as long as they'll run, and if that means playing on medium, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I found out with the first PC. You kind of helped me build was I bought a GPU that was $150, I think. Might have been 200.
You played games on it, yeah.
And I played a lot of games on it. I was like, okay,
yeah.
like this was great. I might not be able to see the windows reflecting. Like I'm dead serious. Okay, so what if the control, like when I'm playing control, I can't see reflections, or the windows like literally they just aren't there, or they're there but not reflective, right? It still ran really good and looked good on a $150, $250 graphics card.
Yeah, and I think like, yeah, if if you want to be a PC gamer, you literally just need like a PC that will run video games. You don't need to spend 4K on a PC. The thing that I like about just PC gaming in general is that it's extremely flexible up and down. Like, if you have a 4K rig, you can obviously do these crazy things. You can do like RTX, like ray tracing and 120 frames per second and that kind of thing. You also have flexibility with how you play the game. You can use a keyboard and mouse. You can use a controller. You can use a DualSense. You can use an Xbox controller. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of use like whatever you want. And that's kind of why I like gaming on PC. And it kind of just fits your setup. If you have an ultra wide monitor, congrats. Now you're playing ultra wide as long as your game supports it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't have a top end PC, like I wouldn't sweat it. You can still pick up God of War. It'll probably still run on like medium to low settings. So,
exactly. Yeah, you just got to. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's all about what you're comfortable with on PC and what you want, and how, years down a year down the line, like, hey, I want to save up to do this, or I want to make this better. It's all about that. It's kind of upgrading yourself along with your PC and kind of upgrading that entire experience. And it's nice. I think either one of them, consoles, PCs, they have their place and are both completely enjoyable.
I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, PC consoles obviously still have a place. Some people just prefer to play on a console rather, and I can see there's so many arguments. We've already talked about it before, but like, if you just want to buy a box that plays video games and not really sweat anything, that's fine. You buy a console, you buy video games, and congrats, now you're playing video games. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's nothing like you bought a PC, now let me install Windows, let me install Steam, like let me install my graphics card drivers and that kind of thing. So
yeah, so I guess kind of like wrapping it up, so we kind of touched on the Bloodborne thing. There may be so the rumor is that there's a Bloodborne PC port that's already done, that Bluepoint is also working on the sequel to Bloodborne, and that they're also
Bloodboner.
And they're also remastering the first one for PS5. So it's like 3 different projects, which of course, I could see all those coming true, and we'll see how it plays out or when they announce them. Sony's going to have a State of Play, which on this Wednesday, so it's going to be, by the time you all listen to this, on October 27th. It's going to be 20 minutes or so. It's not going to really do too much. It's going to focus on some previously announced games, plus a few new reveals from their, I guess, third parties. So don't expect any like crazy announcements. Maybe look forward to the Video Game Awards in December with Jeff Keighley and his
it's
entourage.
Already been a year. Fuck, I feel like it wasn't even that long ago since we were talking about it. Damn,
we're almost back to Jeff Keighley hosting something else.
Oh my god,
he hosted he hosted every game show this year, right? Every major game show.
Jeff Keighley,
he was everywhere.
Yeah,
he was everywhere.
He's a robot, dude.
Dude, Mr. Keighley, sign us up. We need a press pass. He's like, what? I already let you co-stream. What do you want more?
I would love to interview Jeff Keighley. My question is just like, how do you do it, dude?
Dude, how do you do it? I believe he's been in the industry since his early 20s or teens. It's I think teens maybe. So yeah. He's been around the block many of times. And I guess I'll let us think about this exiting the show. Yo, Nintendo, when are you going to get hip and put that stuff on a PC?
Sorry, what? I was coughing. What?
Nintendo, when are you going to get hip and put this Mario on this PC, bro? When are you going to get this extra bank? We ready for it. I'll buy it. It's hard for me to play this Switch. I'm not lying. It is hard.
Really?
because so I've been playing some of these Japanese demos for Monarch, and then there was another game I was kind of looking into, and the text is so blue. It was Blue Reflection. I was going to do the Blue Reflection demo.
Wait, they put that on the Switch? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, and I guess maybe because I'm playing in portable mode, but yeah, the text is so small.
So funny. You're like offending every Switch owner.
Yeah, you Switch owners, get offended. I throw rocks at people who play Switch.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's hard to go and play in bed. I have to play on like the TV or something because I can't.
Yeah,
read
I know how you feel.
text.
Have you tried you haven't, I don't think so, but have you tried Xenoblade 2?
No. I
Try
don't know
to
if they have a
play,
demo.
like get
I should
yourself
that
a copy of Xenoblade 2. Try to play in handheld mode. And I don't want to sound like super elitist or anything, but when I played Xenoblade 2 in handheld mode, I was like, why is it so bad looking? Like it's
No, it's kind of, I can't describe the graphics because it's not a Vita, but it's still not as sharp as a Vita or something.
It's really weird.
I don't
isn't
get
it?
it.
Yeah, it's
I
really
don't get it because
Yeah.
it's like some weird in between hybrid, and like you're just
At like a low frame rate.
At a
and you're
low
like,
frame rate. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I want to like this game so badly. Damn it.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually, like I was joking, for us to have a Xenosaga.
We have to
Remaster.
you have to buy.
We gotta do it. We gotta
Xeno-
beat Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade
1 and 2 and Xenoblade
1
Chronicles
and
X. That's
whatever.
only on the Wii U. And like,
Oh gosh, we have to do it. We're doing it for
Uh,
Shion and Cosmos
I would. Oh damn it.
or
Yeah.
Ziggy. I don't know. Who would you do it? Who would you do it for? Who would
Obviously.
you do it for?
Obviously, Cosmos. Maybe Shion. I don't know. Maybe Miyuki. Do you remember Miyuki?
I can't remember Miyuki.
She was
Whose sister was
Cosmos-
that?
or no, she was Shion's like coworker. She like showed up kind of she was more prominent in 3, but anyways.
Oh my goodness! Now I'm just like looking up Xeno Saga. God, chat's like what? People
What
are like,
was
what
the
heck?
the general consensus? What was the opinion of people on Twitter when they announced God of War on PC? I remember Horizon Zero Dawn had a bit of negative feedback for a while from Sony diehards.
This one was
it the
relatively like when I was reading, it was really positive. It was I'd say the people who were like eager for it were far out voicing the naysayers, because even the Sony fanboys, when I was reading Sony threads or whatever, people were like, "Oh, PC gamers, y'all in for a treat."
It's like, oh, this game is so good. This
Yeah.
game, you can
Yeah,
this
like
game is awesome.
you can finally get what we've been experiencing.
Yeah.
That's the sentiment. That's actually the sentiment. Now I'm looking at Miyuki.
I feel
Dang.
like, yeah, the trend is mostly like console games coming to PC, and then it's like, oh, finally you can play this. There's rarely ever the opposite, where like a PC only game comes to console, right?
Right. There's rarely the opposite of that.
I'm trying to think about it, and then for me, for an example of that would be like when they put Doom on the Switch.
I
Like-
would say anything on the Switch is actually retro, putting it back. Yeah.
Because like, well, I mean, because Doom was already on PS4 and Xbox and PC, and those 3 consoles made sense to me.
Right.
And then they put it on the Switch, and I was like, how? But how though? How do you do that?
I mean, like if you look at id, and let's close off on that. But if you look at id or Bethesda or whatever, like they've honestly been one of the strongest partners for the Nintendo platforms.
Yeah,
ever
Skyrim,
since the Wii. Since the Wii, they've been on that Kool-Aid, man. They're like, hey, we're not gonna miss out on this Nintendo market, and they haven't. Maybe the Wii U. I think everyone missed out on that.
Everyone's kind of skipped that one. Yeah,
everyone
closed
said,
their eyes
forget
and
it.
pretended it never happened.
It didn't. It didn't.
You never owned one, right?
No,
Yeah, I own one. It's in the closet now, but I own one.
that's where I'll stay.
I played it for like I played the console itself like a total of like 3 hours across.
It had
all
like
the
5 games, like 5 or 6 games. That was it.
I played Smash Bros and like the first dungeon of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and that was it.
Which you finished on your
Yes.
Switch.
But I
Finished on the
Switch. Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week for episode 106. Be sure to, like I said, if you are Go ahead, follow the Unknown Games podcast on YouTube. We're trying to get to at least 50 followers before the end of this year. We're at 49. I know I'm setting the goals low here.
No, you
but
don't say that. Someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck these guys. I'm
don't
unsubscribe."
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, don't hurt our hearts like that. Don't hurt our hearts like that. And if you're listening on iTunes, Google Play Podcasts, any of those, Spotify or anything, go ahead, leave a follow or subscribe. Leave a review if you're able to leave a review. Remember, we don't take anything under 3 stars, 3, 4, 5. We don't take anything less.
Yeah, we'll find you.
We're better than that.
Yeah.
We're PC ports.
Right.
And I guess that's gonna be it. Remember, finally, follow us on Twitter, Twitch.
Sure. Yeah.
Twitter
one.
and Twitch, UGP_cast, and then I'm at Ninja Tricks. Alex, you're at
Route 24, baby.
There we go.
Sorry, just Route 24. Don't type in Route 24, baby.
Yeah, leave the baby out.
Yeah. Route 24.
Today's episode, leave the baby out.
Oh, that's the name of this episode. Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you all next week. Until then, stay safe. Go play some games. Have fun. Remember, you set the tone. And if you're in need of a doctor, you know who to call.
What's that mean? The fat doctor? What was it? I can't remember.
The giant doctor.
Oh yeah, the giant doctor. That was a bad one. Yeah. All right, see you guys.
Later, guys.